Hey, welcome to Restless Viking. Today we're going to explore Clifford the Red. Clifford is our mighty steed that gets us to the remote locations, hauls the adventure gear, provides shelter, serves as a mess hall, and generally is home when out exploring, especially in extreme conditions and remote locations. The equipment that I use for exploring isn't anything that's really precious to me. I don't consider it something that needs to be protected and coddled. It's a tool to accomplish a goal, to reach an objective. You know, those remote, out-of-the-way places. It's a bedroom, a tow truck, a kitchen, shelter from the storm, a medical facility. It's all those things. And today we're going to be taking a look at the centerpiece of the gear cache. It's Clifford the Red, a modified Jeep Rubicon JLU. And the first thing that we are going to look at is under the hood, and I think you'll be impressed because it's all stock. There's nothing special underneath this hood, but original equipment manufacturer. We did a few modifications by adding some electrical needs, and as the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So pretty much stock is what I need. It gets me where I need to go, allows me to do the things I need to do. So I don't need to put any huge modifications in a Jeep Rubicon. We got the standard issue stock bumpers that come with a place to install the winch, which is pretty nice. Took the sides off, otherwise I'm gonna bang them up and dent them up and get brush caught in there. We got the Warren winch. It's the standard 8,000 pound winch that Warren makes for the Jeep Rubicon. Fits nicely in the bumper. It's a hassle to install though. And what's interesting about this, the winch is like 3 years old and it's already got trouble with the coating. You know, I know people typically they choose products based on looks, not on function. So it's a big part of your market are the ones that want to look pretty cool and sexy, and this happens like within 2 months. The Factor 55 attachment point, yeah, it's beat up because, you know, there's been a lot of D-rings in there, a lot of attachments for recovering things. But I have dragged a shed across an acre of land and hauled some logs with it. It's got synthetic rope in there. Otherwise, pretty good product. And then we got stock tires, no lift, no extra suspension, save some airbags in the back. So the side lights that are floodlights that project out in a little bit to the side so we can see the trail a little bit better. You can see that the same powder coating pandemic virus that is eating the powder coating off every new product I own is spreading to all the other things on the Jeep. High intensity LED light bar with the regular floodlights on the side, spotlights in the middle, alley lights on the side, which are very useful, from everything for search and rescue to just finding a building you're looking for in the dark. And all of this lighting isn't really necessary if you're just overlanding in the States, but if you hit the Trans-Labrador or the TransTiaga or any other ice road or long distance road up in remote northern Canada or down in South and Central America, you're going to need some pretty high intensity lights just so you can see the road and the curve coming up. Then on the back we have the floodlights on the back so that we can see camp, we can back up in hazardous terrain, and they're really just a useful light, and all the lights are hooked up to the aux switch. When Jeep created the JL, they did a good thing when they put this this gutter on the side, which the JK's never had, so you can get the OEM Jeep cross members for a roof rack. It's corroding. It's about 3 years old. Got it off Amazon for like $100. Now a lot of people say, well, why don't you just get like a Gavin rack or something like that? Spend a little more money so that it doesn't rust quite as quickly, but based on the concept of paying the extra money for something that won't corrode or lose its coating, I'm not so sure that theory's working right now. And on the top we have the recovery gear. Recovery gear used to be in the back underneath. The problem is when you get stuck with water or mud up to here, or even up to here, or even up to there, it's a problem getting your recovery gear out. So I decided, you know, recovery gear should actually be on the top as opposed to buried in the Jeep somewhere where you have to stand in the mud. All we have to do is step on the tire and then hop up. Army surplus box, I think it was like 40 bucks, but the problem is that you know, I had to paint it, and that comes off even if you use the Krylon plastic paint. It's got lots of attachments to give you confidence that it is a waterproof box, but I fear, see that? But I fear that moisture still gets inside. So I have to like dry this thing out all the time because water infiltrates. The seals look pretty good. I haven't put silicone on them yet, but maybe changing to another box. So we got recovery strap, rusted recovery gear, but we got the things that we need for recovery, changing tires, jumper cables. So that's where we keep the recovery gear, but we just need a new box because this one just ain't cutting it. And then we pile into the cockpit and the command center of the Jeep. Then we attach this piece of square stock aluminum here, and we attached it to a piece of metal that actually velcros to the sidebar, so it's easily taken out or put in. Added some LED battery powered, AA battery powered lights. You could use these lights here, but they're not really effective if you have a map in your lap or you're reading some kind of frequency or something that you need to read in there. So these are very valuable. And then we got the high intensity tactical flashlight. It's really bright. Kind of like it a lot. Got a ham radio. There's this debate on whether you use GRMS or ham or CB. Personally, I use a ham radio because disaster response and search and rescue and things like that have caused me to need to be able to communicate during times of need. And this particular one has a lot of frequencies and repeaters programmed in already. Right now it's programmed into a repeater that's probably about 7 miles away, and picks it up pretty good. And I can use it for a lot of different things, and then all the people that normally I spend time in the wilderness navigating around have a ham radio. Another LED light. Then we look on the dashboard. We got the old Vector dashboard mount system. We got the 3D printed iPad mount. The iPad has Gaia. It has Caltopo. It has Backcountry Navigator. It also has like aviation applications for flying the airplane and marine applications for you know, sailing around, like iNavX and things like that. This is really just kind of for those types of things. So you got the regular old navigation system hooked to an Android phone. InReach satellite tracker. It's an ancient one. I probably will be updating that soon. And then you know, the GoPro holder and things. And this is a very flexible system that they make for the JL. I don't think the old JK bar that goes across works with it, but it's pretty cool. The aux switches is a great thing for Jeep to put in here. I really appreciate that. So the aux switches, one is for a, if you can hear that, boot up. So that is an inverter, because the inverter that's installed in the Jeep, I think, is only 100 watts or 150 watts. Won't even run a laptop when I'm on the road. So I installed a, I think it's a 900 watt inverter. Number 2 goes to the light bar. Number 3 goes to the alley lights and the side floodlights. Number 4 goes to the rear lights. So pretty basic setup. I think the aux 1 is the is got the highest amp rating, so that's why we used it for the inverter. And so that's basically it. Up in the cockpit, just a lot of things to assist in what we do. So we'll shut down the electronics, and then we'll look into the back, which is pretty crowded right now. It's got some equipment in there. Some of it's permanent, some of it's not. But yeah, let's go take a look in the back. So in the back, we have that newfangled fire extinguisher that I still got to mount, a lock for the trailer, and then tie-down gear. Shoulder holster. This is the special Jeep tool. This holds the winch controller. And then all we have left is the jump seat. We took the back seat out. You can see underneath, right here, is the inverter that I can plug the laptop or other accessories in there. And it's pretty crowded in there with gear. Then you can see I built a little bit of a drawer system back there, and then put some extra options on here for charging phones and stuff like that. Over there in the cargo net is the tarp that extends out the back with a bug screen. You've got an air sleeping mattress and then a couple close cell phone mattresses. And then the sleeping platform that was built for sleeping on. Pair of binoculars strapped to the back headrest. You can see the sleeping platform, just your standard piece of 3/4 ply, some carpeting bought at Home Depot, and then the support. And then this is for the head. And then you can see how much farther forward it goes, and then we just flip this down and put our pillow on there, and now a 6'3" guy can sleep pretty comfortably with their feet down there and their head up here. Let's move to the back. And in the back we have a minimalist approach to starting a colony. We've got some bug netting. Got a toolkit with the ratchets and wrenches, blah blah blah. Got a bush knife for the kitchen and for other uses. Got another flashlight. And then we got a couple radios that I use for county search and rescue business that we just kind of keep back here. Your general all-purpose throw stuff in here. Little bins at the top, from candles to copper cups for mules, lantern, all those different kinds of things. These are always handy, so they're kept here on the D-ring. Toilet paper. Then as we open the drawers, well, first we have an electric system back here with a couple lights to light things up. Then we have a standard 12-volt plug. We have a couple other options for charging cell phones, so on and so forth. And then we have keep track of the voltage of the vehicle here. If that gets down into the 11s, it's probably time to start it up, and I've never really had a problem with it, but it's nice to be able to monitor that from here. And back here in the drawer is things that we'll need often, from contractor grade trash bags, bug spray, first aid kit, line and ropes and things. We got a rain poncho, hand sanitizer, just a lot of things that we'll need. Got the medical kit. And there's also another medical kit that I can carry when we go into the wilderness that has a lot more stuff into it. The next drawer contains a lot of the tools and spare batteries, everything from the 1, 2, 3s that we might need to the AA's to the AAA's. And then this just kind of pulls out. I got another one below with electric test, everything from electric tester to vice grips to extra fuses and electrical tools and extra chargers for radios and things. This drawer, we got the cheap old, really nice latches, and we can pull it out, and we got the kitchen counter that hasn't been cleaned in a while. We got the kitchen counter that flips up, and then we got the gloves and the locking lug nuts that came with it that I never use. Some cargo netting in there, so on and so forth. We got rain gear. This needs to be charged. One of the things that I like to carry is a glass cleaner, especially in the wilderness, because it works better than those squeegees. We got a big hammer, we got larger sockets, we got other kinds of spotlights, some tape, 2 different bottles of whiskey. We got the old-fashioned fuel spout. And then these drawers are actually, if you reach in back here, there's a little latch back here that you can pull out. And you can see a handle right here. Let's see if we can do it. And then a handle in the front. And then you can pick the whole drawer up and set it down. And you can see that all we used were lag bolts and bearings. I forget what size they are, but the bearings in the little piece of steel here on the side runs in through there, and you know, it catches on occasion, but makes a really nice, smooth and strong roller system for the drawers. And then in the bottom we got the air compressor. I think we've got spare fuel and some more whiskey, and it's probably rye whiskey down there. So those drawers pop out. Now this is where I used to keep the recovery gear. Obviously I keep it up top now, because trying to get the recovery gear out of there when you're standing in water up to here is a little annoying. So lesson learned, and I took it out and put it on there. It's all built with 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch plywood. Really easy. Then over here, another latch, and then we keep the dehydrated foods, the stuff that can last with a long shelf life, so that we can eat from it. And then in the back we got some condiments and spare Ziploc bags and all kinds of things. And then here, after we designed the drawers, we left a little space over here so that we can create a cubby, and we just it's just a piece of plywood sitting on top of the supports. And you can see that we got the axe, the machete, the shovel, the saw, some chains in there, I got a little tubular webbing and a trenching tool. Just, you know, kind of the things that you might need to get a tree out of the way or something like that. So it's really kind of a neat design. It just fits back in there and no problem. So fire extinguisher in the back. We got one up behind the driver's seat. And I think that's just about it. That is the whole system. So that, in a nutshell, is Clifford the Red. I sleep here. I eat out of here. I got a lot of tools that I need over here. It's a solo rig. It's for just me. If Poppins goes with me, we come up with something else. We tow a trailer. I can sustain myself with this thing for a long time. That's basically it.